Trust is arguably the most important facet of any relationship. In today's episode, I'm going to give you some practical ways that you can build trust with your kids. If you like the video, please leave a like, subscribe, and leave a comment. What are some ways that you build trust with your kid? I'd love to hear it. My name is Mark Savant. This is Actidad. Let's get into it. The reason why trust is so important to build with your kid is that you want to make sure that they're open and communicating with you. For example, you want to make sure that if your daughter finds herself in a dangerous place or staying out too late in a dangerous party, you want to make sure that she's comfortable calling you and saying, "Dad, help. I didn't listen to you. I'm in a bad situation. Come pick me up." Trust is the key component to making sure that a line of communication is open between you and your child. And it's vital to you being an awesome dad. The first main principle of building trust is active listening. You have to be listening to your child and letting them know that your interest in them is there. Some key components of active listening are eye contact. You want to make sure that when your child is talking to you, you're looking them in the eye. In fact, you probably want to get down to their level, drop to a knee, communicate with them, ask them, "What's wrong? Why do you feel that way? How can I help?" Another great way that you can practice active listening is by repeating back to them what they say. So if your child says, "I scraped my knee, it hurts," you could say, "Oh, I'm sorry that your knee hurts. How can I help?" Repeating back to them their issue is really important. Another key part of active listening is touch. A light touch on the shoulder, a high five, a hug. These are all ways that you can help bring that trust in, build that connection with your kid. So any ways that you can get down to their eye level, have some physical touch, repeat to them, eye contact, these are all core components of active listening. And look, you can apply this not just with your relationship with your kid, but anywhere. These are all core components. Another part of active listening is repeating that person's name. So calling out your kid by his name or her name is another way that you can let them know that you are interested in their situation. Being open about your mistakes is another way that you can help build trust with your child. Admitting, "I'm sorry I got upset. I made a mistake. I apologize." These ideas not only let your child know that you care about them and that you are fallible, you make mistakes, but it also allows them the freedom to know that it's okay if they make a mistake. The reality is that we are all human and we all make errors. It can be hard to admit them, but if you admit mistakes to your child, that's a good way of being vulnerable, being open, and helping build that trust. Make sure that you're always being honest with your child. I struggle with this sometimes. It's something as simple as saying, "Santa's coming," or "The tooth fairy will bring you money." But these are very silly kind of examples. But the reality is that you want to be as honest as possible with your child. When your child gets older and learns that, "Hey, mom and dad lied to me," that's going to break down the trust. That's going to break down the legitimacy of the things that you say. So make sure that you're as honest as possible with your child. That is one of the most important parts of building trust. Once you've got down the key components of empathy, active listening, being willing to admit mistakes, being as truthful as possible, now you're ready to implement the most important part of trust, which is consistency. Consistency can mean different things, but what in essence consistency means is what you say you're going to do, you do, and you do it consistently. You show up. If you tell your kid that we're going to wake up early and we're going to go to a baseball game or go to a park or go to the beach, you better do it. Because over time, if you fail to show up, they're going to stop believing you. They're going to stop trusting you. And that's going to really break down the relationship. I think we all know people that are flaky. And when they say they're going to do something, in the back of your mind, you're already distrusting that that's actually going to happen. You don't want to have that type of rapport with your kid. It's very important that they trust that when dad says he's going to do something, he's going to do it. And we all make mistakes. That's where admitting the mistake and moving on is important. But make sure that you try to be as consistent as possible. The other facet of consistency is in your discipline. So you want to make sure that if you tell your kid, "Don't do this or else," that you do what you say. If your kid continues to push and disobeys you, you need to follow through with that promise. It can be really easy when your kid is pushing and pushing and pushing to just eventually give in and give them what they want. But if you do that, you're setting a precedent that you're not trustworthy and he doesn't have to listen to you. Make sure that if you say you're going to do something, you're going to follow through, and make sure that it's actionable. For example, if you are going to be going on a vacation with your kid next week, don't threaten to punish them with, if you keep behaving this way, we are not going on vacation. You're going to stay home. You know it's not true. You've already booked the airfare. So make sure that if you say something, that it is actionable. Thank you so much for watching this video on trust. I believe that trust is invaluable in your relationship with your child. In fact, it's one of the 5 core principles of being an awesome dad. But please tell me, how do you build trust with your kid? Leave it in the comments. I would love to know. I'm always looking to improve myself. I think that's a key to being an awesome dad. So please leave a comment below and tell me, how are you developing trust with your kid? Give specific examples. As always, please like and subscribe. I would love to hear back from you, and I'd love you to be aware when we come out with more awesome tips to being an awesome dad. My name is Mark Savant. This has been an Actidad production. Have an awesome day. Peace.